journey studying trophology, which is a very unique branch of nutrition, which is the study of food combination. That led me to a journey of exploring quantum medicine, biophysics, which led me to biomagnetism. And has anybody here actually ever even heard this term before stopping by the booth? I know, it's like crickets every time I talk. Like, what? An amazing field. So I'm going to actually get started and you can help me, Christina. Thank you so much. I will try to go through the science as best as I can, but it's very important to understand the history. So as we know, right, it's a common theme, a common phrase that we say, we are energy. Well, let's quantify it now. We are 99.9999999 energy, which means by mathematics, we are actually less than 1% matter. Now, if we are truly trying to get to the core of our healing, we have to understand that there's the side that is matter. What can we see in a blood work? What can we see in an MRI? What can we see in an X-ray? But then, what is happening behind the scenes? What is the energy flow in the pancreas, in the liver, in the eye? I'm pretty sure many of us know that the body has an electromagnetic field. Does anyone know how this is measured? When you go to the doctor to check your heart, what is it that we usually get done? An EKG. Yeah. Yes, an EKG. An EKG, what it is measuring is the body's electromagnetic, specifically the heart. Has anybody ever gotten an EEG? It's a scan of the brain?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Yes. The EEG, what it is capturing is, what is this electromagnetic field of the brain? Now, I know the brain is given a lot of credit, right? Like it is the mastermind behind all functioning, but the heart has an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than our brain. So, has anybody ever said, "Oh man, I feel like something's wrong," right? And all of a sudden you got a call. Our body is able to detect so much around us because we are all interconnected with a morphogenetic field, an energy field. Also, the nervous system, it always communicates through electromagnetic. Now, Dr. Richard Broinmeyer, he was a former physician, lead researcher, that noticed when astronauts were coming back from outer space, they were coming back with limbs that were not the same length anymore. There was some discrepancies happening. And what he discovered in his research was it was because of the absence of this electromagnetic field that Mother Nature has, aka the equator. So we are always exposed to an electromagnetic field. And the moment that we're no longer exposed, our body starts to do weird stuff. So that means it is actually part of us. Research really led the way for Dr. Boyce, which we will talk about in a second. Fun fact. Imagine you split your body in half. The right side of your body has a negative pole. The left side has a positive pole. So when we are in the field of biomagnetism treating a patient, right, we got to figure out how do we get pH to a 7.35 to a 7.45. Why is that? That is where health lives. Please make sure your pH does not drop, because cancer lives in a 6.0 pH, discovered by Dr. Odo, who won a Nobel Prize discovering this. So in the negative side, the North Pole, that's where cellular repair is happening, healing, oxygenation, and we are trying to make the body more alkaline. When would we want to make the body more alkaline? When there is virus, when there is fungus. Because they can only live in a what? Acidic environment. So you start to move the hydrogen ions so that it becomes more alkaline, you pretty much take the fish out of the water. It cannot thrive in an environment that is not designed for it to live in. And opposite. On the positive side, when we're dealing with magnets of the positive polarity, that's more to treat inflammation, imbalances, microbial activity, and if we want to make the environment more acidic. And we want to have the environment more acidic when we're dealing with parasites and when we're dealing with bacteria. Now, Dr. Isaac Goistow, he was considered the father of biomagnetism. He was an MD from Mexico, received a doctorate from Oxford International, and what he discovered was we can have to have a Gauss of at least 1,000. We can actually non-invasively cause this balance, cause this shift into a more state of homeostasis. We can restore, we can penetrate, we can actually do things like repel erythrocytes to prevent blood clots, and many more things that we'll see right now. Now, what is biomagnetism? It's a very relaxing therapy. It's non-invasive. You lay down, we do a bio scan where we look at what is happening energetically in the body, and we place magnets in very specific and intentional places, positive and negative polarity that experts have to know that are very specific for what your body needs. Has anybody heard the term bioelectricity? Great. Just like the Tesla, right? We need to plug ourselves in charge, just like the iPhone. So that's what it is. We need to make sure that our body, that our neurons, that our cells, that our muscle tissue is at the right bioelectricity for its proper function. Now, why does electromagnetic field matter? Dr. Jerry Tennant, who is an eye surgeon, wrote the book, Voltage is Healing. What he said was, if our body, if our cells are -20 to -25 millivolts, we are maintaining cell function, rate of cellular repair and healing. If it goes to -50, now we're actually activating a lot more of the regenerative stages, anti-inflammatory, et cetera, et cetera. But what happens when it becomes more positive? If it hits -50, or -15, the cells start to lose their function. We start to see dysfunctions. We start to feel symptoms. And what happens when we hit 0? Now we're dealing with the tumoral phenomenon. Has anybody ever seen what your body's electromagnetic field looks like? Right? It's a really cool thing that you would get in a fancy lab. So with the BioWell technology that we brought today, we can see exactly what some people say are, our aura or field. And what this shows us is areas that have bulging or red or breaks. Those are distortions. Those are dysfunctions. Those are inflammatory responses. That's an infection starting. And when do we typically catch these things? When there's a symptom. When something hurts, and when it's a little too late, and now we're going to do a whole lot of work to get the body back to state. So how cool is it to catch it before it's even detectable? Now this is what the BioWell looks like, and if you see in this image, there's a before and after. How many of you here have back pain? Flexibility has maybe shifted, sciatica. Yeah, I know, I'm with you. From sports, I had a whole lot of injuries. I was like, oh, this cannot be my whole life you're in pain. So what I discovered through many, many, many cases and research is a lot of issues like fatigue, eye loss, right? Like our vision starts to get blurry. Even our respiration, things that we are like, how does that have to do with my spine's health? Every nerve that comes out of our spine, of our vertebrae, is directly connected to an organ. Liver, pancreas, eyes. So if there is a lack of bioelectricity, like you can see in the top where it's that dark pink or orange, that's showing a lack. You never want to be in that pink or red zone. That's something you really want to pay attention to. Then we start to see that the body starts to form